If you are too bruised, if you are currently struggling to believe in yourself, if you feel like damaged good to the point where you no longer have the strength to pick up the pieces and believe that all things are possible again, then this video is for you. Dimitri here. Let's get right into it. Someone once said that our thoughts create our reality. I believe what this person was saying. And I would like to simply add one key thing. Our thoughts do not create our reality, but they simply manifest something that is already there. Whatever you choose to latch on become then the reality you get to actually experience on a daily basis. If you are too weak, if your ego has been so bruised that you no longer have the strength to look yourself in the mirror and see the giant that's already there, you no longer have the strength to look yourself in the mirror and believe in the dream again. That's your choice. You choose to simply focus on a small part of the reality that's already there. But if you can shift that by start focusing on something much bigger than whatever obstacle, whatever issue that you're dealing with, my friend, slowly but surely you're gonna come to experience the other bigger reality. Of course, I understand that from time to time we come to a place where we no longer have the strength to actually believe ourselves. We need to have someone else give us some of their belief. We need to borrow someone else's belief in order to just propel ourselves from one skewed reality to a much bigger reality that's just waiting and actually begging for us to simply consider it. I'm going to give you just two examples to illustrate what I'm trying to say. Why it is important to actually sometimes borrow someone's belief in you when it comes to your life. In 1963, a gentleman by the name of Sidney Poitier won an award and Oscar for a movie called The Lilies of the Field. He was the first gentleman of African American descent to win that prestigious award. Why? Because simply at one point something peculiar happened in his life. Back in the early 1940s, he went for audition for a particular play that was taking place in Brooklyn. But back in the days, he did not really know how to read properly. And the audition required for him to read some lines to the director. And when the director realized that this gentleman, however good looking, was unable to read the lines properly, he simply stopped the audition, came on stage, grabbed him by the pants, and manu military walk him out and kick him and say to him, "Go back to your life of being a dishwasher." Sidney Poitier was crushed outside because he said, how did he know that my day-to-day job is to be a dishwasher? But anyways, as he goes back to his regular jobs, one day he's reading a newspaper and one of his co-workers, a Jewish man, simply look at him and say, "Yo man, please tell me what is happening right now in the world." Sidney Poitier was honest enough to simply say, "I can tell you because I don't know how to read." And the Jewish man simply says, "Don't worry about it. This is what's going to happen now. I'm going to teach you how to read until you become extremely good at this thing so you can tell me what is happening around the world." From this bond was born the confidence now to be able to read and to return to the same place where he had been kicked out and get a job and eventually work his way up until he became this acclaimed actor that we came to know as Sidney Poitier. First example, someone borrow another person's belief in them and that yielded some tremendous result. Example number one. Example number two. In 1913, somewhere in Algeria in Africa, a young man was born to, it was the second child to a young family in Africa. And because they were of French descent, shortly after the First World War broke out, the father had to return to France to actually go fight on behalf of his country. And as he goes there, tragedy happens. One day while they were fighting, something hit his head, so he was now sent to the hospital. As he's sent to the hospital, he said, I need to simply send some message to my wife. But because he could not write anything because his head had been affected and he could not see properly, he asked one of his friends to now start writing the letter. So the friend writes the letter because the gentleman is unable to write for himself. He's unable to see for himself. He writes the letter and the letter is actually sent out to Algeria. The letter reaches the family and the mother, the wife, cannot read. So she has someone else read the letter to her. And the letter was simply saying, I am fine, don't worry about anything, all is well. A second letter came simply along the same tone, I am fine, don't worry about anything, all is well. And he was not writing the letter because he could not see, and she could not read the letter herself because someone else had to read the letter for her. And by the time they realized what was happening, the father was gone, the husband was gone. So the young man, now who was barely 1 year old, get to spend the rest of his life without a father. And he goes to school, and because they were now so broke, because the mother was actually could not read, she was illiterate, and the mother didn't have a good job, so they were living in some impoverished part of Algeria. And as this young man goes to school, of course you can imagine the young man is too bruised to believe that anything good can come out of his life. He goes to school, and next thing you know, is not really doing so well, until one day he meets a teacher by the name of Louis Germain. Louis Germain look at the young man, the broken, the seemingly damaged good, and he simply says, no, I have faith in you. I believe in you. You may have lost belief in yourself, but I believe in you. If you have no strength when it comes to believing yourself, at least borrow my belief. And that's exactly what happened. The teacher did all that he could to simply help the young man see that indeed he was a giant. But here's the funny thing. Oh my goodness, there was absolutely nothing different from the other boys, but it took someone with a keen sense of discernment to see that this young man had great potential. He believed in him so much that the young man stayed in school and started doing well. And by the time he was done in school, he started writing books. Eventually, he started working as a journalist. And as he's writing books, he realizes that this teacher's faith, belief in him, is precisely what he needed to actually get to that next level. And guess what? In 1957, the young man that was almost going nowhere received a Nobel Prize for his contribution to the world of literature. So as he's receiving now this Nobel Prize, his heart and soul are now turned to this teacher by the name of Louis Germain to simply say, had it not be for you, I would not be the man that I am today. If you've been enjoying this video, please make sure to share it with as many people as possible. And of course, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that next time we put together a video, you can be amongst the first one to see it. Alright, now back to our presentation. I don't know what you're going through right now, but I'm simply going to tell you one key thing. It matters what you choose to actually believe in. It matters the environment where you actually choose to actually spend your day. Because if you spend your day in an environment that is simply telling you that you are this big, you're going to come to believe that yes, this is all I can afford as far as life is concerned. But if you can shift your perspective and start going to places where people are telling you that yes, you are much bigger than what you thought you were. And as you start expanding how you see yourself through the faith you're going to see in another person in you, my friend, slowly but surely through repetition, your thoughts are going to shift, and your thoughts are going to bring you precisely to a place where you too going to realize that yes, there is still much more in your life than you can possibly imagine. Alright, my friend, I'm gonna stop right here. Oh, it's just my homework. Yes, choose today to simply shift yourself from wherever you are to a different environment of friends, environment and associates. People can simply tell you that yes, you are actually bigger than you think. If you cannot find such an environment, what I'm simply going to say, start reading books that simply tell you that yes, you are bigger than you think right now. And if books are not enough, I'll simply tell you one key thing, last thing. Choose to review all this video for mountain inspiration until you can have the ability to borrow the faith I have in you, that the best is yet to come. You carry so much greatness you can possibly imagine. Alright, much love everyone. Take good care. I'm out.